Tom, but we're going to show you that later on. We don't want to fall behind too much with the main event already started the round. And we're going to got a few things to talk about before we delve right into this match.
Yes, we do.
After this amazing round 6 feature match, and I just heard it was a very nice interview afterwards as well.
Yeah, it was really good. He was considering he's come all the way from the US, probably a lot of traveling. He was terribly energetic.
Right.
And yeah, he totally cleared up about
why he made certain plays
versus
right.
D'Agosto Emerald.
And did you see that the chat in the end agreed with him?
Yeah, well, I wasn't looking at the chat when it was being streamed. But
all right.
I was escorting him out.
Okay. Oh, good luck. Good luck for the weekend continues, because in round 7 we wanted to have Marcello Barberi, who you just saw in another video that just went live on the stream, and he's going up against Simone Reale, also from Italy, and he's in fact playing heroes. If that's not a surprise, I don't know what is. Before we look deeper into that, we got 1,099 players for the first YCS of the season. Let's take a look where these guys are from. This is our country breakdown. So obviously Italy coming out in droves, 810 players from Italy, again much larger than in other places where we have like the total number of players.
Yeah.
So well done, Italy. And then you see a gigantic drop, one of the biggest drops we've ever had. Yeah. Germany in second place, 107 players that decided to take a vacation over here, and while they're here they could also play some Yu-Gi-Oh! And then also French players, Swiss and Austria, the Switzerland and Austria, of course, neighbor nations to Italy, so that makes sense. Actually, France as well. So that's your little lesson in geography. And the other big story of the weekend, I know that our friends need a little bit time to prepare for that, is the deck breakdown. We're going to have that up for you in just a second, but the deck that everybody was expecting to see this weekend, of course, is Nekroz, and it was the #1 played deck, almost 25% of the field going into the event. Although, if you remember, at the European Championship, there was the same thing, and then in the top 64, we had roughly 40% Nekroz, and in the top 8, we only had one Nekroz deck. So in the end, Nekroz did not prevail, even though it made it to the finals. Yeah, because all the other decks were specifically built to combat Nekroz.
Yep, yeah. You just summarized everything that I was gonna say about Euros.
Yeah, sorry for that.
But it's okay. So about this event, it's slightly different to the European Championship because, yeah, as you were saying, we just when we were back in the European Championships, we were just building to beat Nekroz, and that's what every deck was doing. Nekroz was trying to beat Nekroz. And that was really taking up a lot of the space in the Nekroz deck that could be used for other things.
Right.
And I think that was really kind of impeding the Nekroz builds. Right. So now we see
Nekroz going up against heroes.
Yeah.
And I think that's as good of a transition that we can come up with at this point.
Yeah.
So let's take you to the table where Marcello Barberi from Italy is going up against his countryman Simone Reale. And both of them, not both of them, both of them from Italy, but Marcello playing Nekroz and Simone playing heroes.
So let's have a look at these builds here.
Yeah, Marcello is the guy on the left who looks like he's carrying a sheep in front of his face. That is in fact his beard that gets longer and longer. And some people say he gets stronger and stronger. Like his beard is his cause of his magic powers there.
Yeah, well, he's very powerful. So, looking at Marcello's build here, he looks like he's playing the same build as Federico, one of his fellow teammates. He's also playing the clowns. So we might be in for a good showing of this Neclowns, whatever we want to call it, deck. Nekroz Clowns.
Don't try it.
No, it didn't work the first time. It didn't work the second time.
Yeah, but Simone is kicking things off, and with heroes, just like with the Tellarknights that we saw last round, Reinforcement of the Army, one of the best cards, one of the opening plays.
Yep. So Goblinberg here, followed by Shadow Mist. So Shadow Mist, great card. When it's special summoned, you get to go get a change spell from your deck to the hand. So he's going to go get Mass Change. And the big play here is that he's going to be able to use Mass Change on Dark Law to get Dark Law.
Right.
So you switch out one of the elemental heroes on your field for one of a higher level that's a fusion monster. And in this case, it'll be Dark Law.
And Dark Law is such a powerful card. We have seen this card single-handedly winning games, a couple of times in fact. And it's especially good against Nekroz, because
Yes.
after every search, you get to banish a random card from the opponent's hand. Or is it only the first
Just
search?
once.
Oh,
Just once per turn, yeah.
But still, a very, very big
No,
advantage.
yeah, still, it's really, really, really bad. And everything gets banished
Yes.
as well.
All right, so this is it. And Marcello, of course, sees the writing on the wall with that mask change face down
Yeah.
on Simone's side of the field.
Mm-hmm.
So he will try to get rid of the monsters first, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at Marcello's hand. And there we got a Cycle, Clausulas, Unicorn, Senju, and the Hat Trigger that has also been summoned.
Yep. So, I don't know what Marcello's line of plays are here. I think he's potentially hiding the fact that he's playing Nekroz right now.
He also drew into a reinforcement of the army, so he's also playing that card, of course. And yeah, you could of course special summon the Hat Trigger because of
There's more than 2 monsters on the field.
two or more, yeah. And there is the mask change. Such a good card, such a flexible card, and that brings the Dark Law, and that's a perfect response to the Senju, really.
Yeah. That's a bit, well, yeah, of course. So he's gonna search, and then immediately after the search is resolved, he gets to take one of the cards from his hand, and it gets banished. However, if we take a look at the field of Simone here, he's going to be able to deal with any exceed play that Marcello is going to try and make here, which is actually perfect, because the only real line of plays this turn for Marcello to get out of this Dark Law lock is to make an exceed play and make the likes of Castell or a 101.
Mm-hmm.
And
Compulsory is a perfect answer to that.
yes, exactly. So Marcello may be feeling, okay, well, he has 2 back rows, but still, it's okay. I'm going to be able to make an exceed play here.
And here's the hit.
Yeah, let's see which card was banished from Marcello's hand.
They're making it really exciting for us. I'm about to bite my nails if they don't flip this card over very soon.
Yeah, I think he's going to put it right next to him as well. Okay, hit
It's a
rotor.
reinforcement of the army. Okay.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, that was kind of built up excitement, and then they like popped our balloon, and yeah, we were kind of sat here just like, just turn over that card. Okay, but still, Marcello, it's a shame Marcello still doesn't realize that compulsory is here, and compulsory is a one-off card.
And is that a card that everybody's playing? Not really.
No.
And
Okay, that's strange. That's very strange.
so he returned with the.
He just played compulsory on the Senju.
That's definitely an interesting choice.
Yeah, I don't know why he did that. There's not a single card in Marcello's deck.
Okay, this time I'm going to
An
take
extra
notes,
deck.
because every time after the match we're like, what other questions do we want to ask him? And the CED on Senju certainly seems like a question worth asking.
Yeah, so I can't read all of Marcello's extra deck, but by the looks of it, there's not a card in here that he would have been able to exceed into that would have been able to use a quick effect
Right.
around compulsory. So I don't know why he compulsed the Senju.
So you're basically saying this might have seem a little premature.
Yeah, but potentially.
Okay, there's a second mask change in the same turn, of course, and it's going to trade in the Dark Law for another copy of the Dark Law. So he gets the effect again of banishing a random card from the opponent's hand when he's going to search, which is happening at the moment, by the way. I guess we should mention that. So, what do you think about this trade? You're losing another mask change, but your opponent is going to lose another card from his hand.
Yeah,
Is
I
that
think
worth it?
yeah, that's pretty worth it.
All right.
Just because you can very happily banish another card from your opponent's hand, and a mass change is worth that, especially against the Nekroz deck.
Right. And hitting a random card can be really devastating.
Yeah, well, if he gets one of his engine cards that get banished, it's just dreadful. However, if he'd have hit Great Sorcerer, that wouldn't have been very good because Great Sorcerer has a cool effect when it gets banished. So, yeah, on the flip side, that's kind of strange.
Oh,
But here we see.
Did they resolve the Dark Law effect?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Do you know what it hit?
No, the banish pile's kind of
Yeah.
overflowing.
Hiding, yeah. All right, out of sight. Yeah, anyway, a Nekroz of Unicorn just hit play, thanks to a Nekroz cycle. And now suddenly Simone is left with two monsters on the field. Goblinberg not gonna do much here. And his Dark Law, of course, the MVP of the deck. And he's got another copy of Goblinberg in his hand and a Bubble Man that he searched for. But Marcello at the same time, super nonplussed. He just continues with his plays.
Yeah.
In that way, reminding me of Federico Soppini, who is like just going through
Super
all the
calm.
going through his moves.
Yeah, but so yeah, we've managed to see Marcello recover here into this rank 4 play where he's going to be able to get rid of that Dark Law. So all that says to me is he's got an extra Senju in hand now.
Yeah, that compulsory was really like, it feels a little like a -1. Like only Simone was
Really?
losing a card instead of Marcello losing a card as well.
Yeah, I think is it more than a -1? It's like you're losing a card and your opponent's
Yeah, and
gaining
he's
a card.
getting another one. Yeah,
That's a +2 for Marcello.
it's a very interesting play. But we've seen that before, that sometimes the reasoning of the players was then super sound, that they did have an idea why they went down that way. All right, here is the rank 4. What are you going for here? Don't
Yeah,
answer.
yeah,
Castel.
I said it earlier that he's going to go for Castel or
Right.
101.
And why is Castel often better than 101 in these situations?
I think some people have started cutting 101 because of the Shaddoll matchup, because if you detach a Shaddoll monster from 101, then you get the Shaddoll effect.
It doesn't look like Marcello is playing 101.
No, so yeah, Castel was the only option.
The only option. Yeah, which is very interesting because when 101 was first coming out, everybody played it in even multiples sometimes.
Yeah, that's we didn't have Castel back then, I guess.
Yeah, and suddenly everything changes again. That's the exciting part about Yu-Gi-Oh! Game is ever evolving, and very often a card that is like super strong today might not even be played tomorrow. Just look at Raigeki. Case in point, a card that used to be banned for such a long time comes back and then nobody wants to play it, in fact.
Yeah. Okay, so we see Nekroz Kaleidoscope using that really basic play of sending the Arclight to the graveyard from his extra deck, which allows him to go and search for a ritual card from his deck.
One of the best combos of the deck, really.
Well, that was a smashing top deck. He plays a Hero Lives.
This is how you do it. All right.
Okay, so he's going to pay half of his life points here to be able to go and search for a Shadow Mist, or to summon an elemental hero from his deck, which is probably going to be Shadow Mist. And then Shadow Mist's effect triggers, and he can go get a mass change. However, this isn't as good as it potentially could be because Unicorn is able to negate the effects of the extra deck monsters. So that might not be as useful in this particular situation.
Right.
Let's take a look at his hand. I don't think Marcello has a Valkyrus to stop the attack over Unicorn, though. So
Marcello only got a Necros of Bryanek.
yeah, so I think this is very much going through here, and he's going to be able to just take that out.
And there's the elemental hero Bubble Man.
Yeah, so
So many special summons here.
He's going to make a Dweller. And then he's going to mass change that into a Dark Law. I think Dark Law's going to go over the Unicorn.
Yeah. All of that pretty straightforward.
Yep.
And it's one of these games where one player really doesn't mind losing his own cards as long as his opponent is also losing cards. In this case, the hero player.
Yep.
Generally speaking, he does have the stronger monsters, and Marcello's deck needs to go into these combos, like make use of several cards in the same turn to unleash those powerful plays. Whereas Simone, very often, he just has to draw like one card and suddenly he's got all he needs.
Yep.
So he's the one that is getting a lot more out of this situation with both players losing cards.
Yep.
And now Marcello's left with just the Nekroz of Bryanek, draws another card for his turn, but don't forget the ritual spell cards in the graveyard, although the Abyss Dweller just shut down that line of plays.
Yes. Also, it's really unprofitable to do that because of Dark Law's effect.
Right, and Marcello did draw into an Exa.
Yeah, that's really not good. So yeah, the Nekroz builds that people are seeing nowadays, they use Exa and Great Sorcerer. They have less desirable effects. Sorry, not less desirable effects. They have less desirable statistics. So they're Exa's a 5 monster. Great Sorcerer's only really useful when it's being banished from the graveyard for a mirror. Same with Exa. That's like a really, really powerful play, but they're not very good when you draw them.
Yeah.
Unless you can tribute them to Valkyrus.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Christmas doesn't always come early. And in this case, it's certainly not looking like it. Also, judging by the weather outside, that's another indication. So, as Simone did draw into a Forbidden Lands, that's some protection for his monsters.
Yeah.
And deals some damage. Marcello suddenly just on 4,100, and that's a steep drop from the 9,000 that he had before.
So he drew a Trick Clown.
And there's a question whether Castell should have been negated by Unico. I'm not sure about that. I think Unico was summoned later.
Yeah, he played Castell first, and then he played the Unico afterwards with Kaleidoscope.
All right. So, did Marcello finally find something? He's got the Performage Trick Clown.
Yeah.
How useful is this here?
I don't think it's going to provide him too much right now. I think he's actually going to search with Brian. Like, I think I don't know. I don't know. Marcello might have some amazing play here that I just can't even see. But I think his only line of play is to add a Valkyrus to hand, and then hope that Dark Law doesn't take the Valkyrus out of his hand.
It doesn't sound like a great line of play.
No. No, not at all.
Let's see if we can prove us wrong.
Yeah.
And you can see that die in Simone's hand. He's really like, yeah, I'm going to roll this away.
Yeah, so it's a 50-50 chance to...
Yeah. It's where you want to use your 50-50 joker.
Yeah.
And that...
Yeah, that hit so he decided to go with Unicorn instead, which was, a reasonable play too. But yeah. That Trick Clown is getting Regeki'd, which is going to make it banished because of Dark Law, and then that's it over.
Yeah, that is it for the first game between Marcello Barberi and Simone Reale. And we could tell the writing was on the wall.
Yeah.
Thanks to that Dark Law and that...
Well, a Hero Lives won the game.
Yeah, Hero Lives.
Just top deck to Hero Lives out of
nowhere.
nowhere.
We've seen a number of strong top decks today.
Yeah.
It wasn't the first time.
Yeah, we're starting to see a lot of high impact cards in the game. It's just
like in the Klee deck that we've seen for earlier, the Scout from the top, for example. That was an amazing rip.
Top deck Scout.
Suddenly you have the 1 and 8 as pendulum scales. You can search, of course, and you just basically win right there.
Yeah. Same with Shaddolls. Shaddolls can just top deck the fusion, things like that. Yeah, it's just some crazy top decks.
All right. What cards are going to be introduced from the side decks here?
So, let's take a look.
Let's start with Simone, our hero player.
No, okay, so let's start with Simone. So he does have a wide range of cards in his side deck. One of those quite a strange one that not many people see is a Steel Swarm Roach. That's an extra deck card, so you can actually side deck with your extra deck as well. As long as it's 1 in, 1 out of the decks that you are side decking with, then that's totally fine. We also see so 1 copy of Twister, 1 copy of Forbidden Chalice,
2 copies of Iron Wall.
Yeah, so, and then we've got 2 copies of Imperial Iron Wall, Royal Command, Max C, Mind Crush, Defusion, Mirror Force. So there's a lot of cards that can go in here. Mirror Force being quite a big one, just, it's unexpected.
Yeah,
shall we say.
nobody sees that coming, yeah.
Yeah. Same with Mind Crush.
What do you think about
it's
the
pretty
Iron
good.
Wall? Is the Iron Wall any good? You cannot banish the cards from
yeah.
the graveyard.
It's good, but it's it is good, but it's only good in the situation of, like, it's good to it doesn't really do anything mid range. It kind of either shuts down your opponent from playing any mirrors, in which in that kind of situation they're probably losing, maybe, or if they're winning with like when they're making Trishula plays, then it shuts down their really powerful plays. So it doesn't really do any like mid range kind of thing. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
All right.
It's it doesn't really do any kind of mid-range stuff. Max C could be useful if he's going to be choosing to go first, or if he's being forced to go first by Marcello. Mind Crush, of course, is great for disrupting those Kaleidoscope plays, the other Ritual Summon plays, but mainly the Kaleidoscope play.
Right. What about Marcello's side deck? He's got Raigeki, Breakthrough Skill, Mystical Space Typhoon.
He's going to probably be putting in the likes of Breakthrough Skill, Vanity's Emptiness, Royal Decree.
What about the Shared Rights? Not so much.
Probably
we
not.
saw a little bit of searching with the reinforcement, but it's not like the Nekroz deck that constantly goes on searching.
No, they probably search a maximum of like 2 times a turn, to be honest. That's about it. About 2 times a turn. But yeah. So someone is gonna. So we've got this like cool little dynamic here where someone is thinking, well, I didn't see any trap cards in game 1, so I'm thinking about sliding out my Mystical Space Typhoons. But Marcello's putting in Royal Decrees, so it's one of those situations where you've got to choose. Oh, is my opponent going to be playing Royal Decrees? Should I leave my Mystical Space Typhoons in? Chances are he knows that the side deck involves a Royal Decree, so he can just keep those in. Especially when he's playing like a quarter of his deck to be trap cards.
Right.
Which is fantastic.
And both guys seem to be done shuffling, or at least side decking. So, well, not quite done shuffling.
Yeah.
But we're getting there.
Yeah. Players love shuffling.
Yeah, and Ryan loves his sideburns apparently.
He does, yeah. I mean, we did see the aerobics in round 9, it was, at the European Championships.
Yeah, that was one of the stream highlights.
Yeah. Oh, it was good. It was good.
Yeah.
They just like to limber up. They've got to be absolutely prepared for that.
Something that Hector mentioned, that at the World Championship you're standing even more, like because you need to be like super professional. So you're standing over the full duration of the 60-minute rounds. As a judge, you're standing. And then very often there's only very little break until the next round starts, and then you're standing for another 60 minutes.
Yeah, so it looks like Ryan has limbered up enough. His sideburns are perfectly in position, and we're going to jump into the next game here.
All right, let's see. We're starting with Simone's hand as an Elemental Hero Shadow Mist. I see a Mirror Force.
Yeah, he has mass change as well.
Yeah, and an Upstart Goblin.
That's not pleasant for Marcello. However, someone is going to be super happy to be able to get that Shadow Mist out.
Yeah, but Marcello does have a Unicorn, and he starts with reinforcement of the army.
Yeah,
also got a Necro Cycle.
Something that is quite key about the hero deck is that it just I don't like making sweeping statements like this, but it outright loses to Klausulus. Because you just can't really, like, none of your smaller monsters can do anything. So like Shadow Mist can't really get over Klausulus. So if you have a monster, Unicorn being the best possible choice, and Klausulus, you're kind of unbeatable, because the entire strategy of the hero deck is to make these exceed plays or getting Dark Law out. But we might see some difference here, because we do see there's a Mirror Force in his hand, and Fiendish Chain. So So yes,
But other than that,
Yeah.
exactly what you just predicted.
okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't expecting him to do it right now, but
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he had the capability to do it. So
And also,
yeah.
Marcello did draw into a Royal Decree, one of his side deck cards.
Yeah, that's gonna be really, really good because that Fiendish chain's gonna cause issues.
So we can nominate this for the best possible start.
Yeah, I definitely think so. It might not look so threatening
Mhm.
because you've only got like a 2,300 attack monster, 2,300 defense monster. Both of them can be destroyed by Dark Law, but not when Clausulus has its effect that it can negate the effect of a monster and reduce its attack down to 0, which
Yeah.
again is one of those epic questions of can we enter the damage step?
Yeah.
It's so scary.
This opening play was totally missing a chin to really get me off my seat here.
Okay,
It's like,
okay.
it's like a good effort, but no.
good effort, but try again.
Yeah, no chin is like, no, I'm not going to get excited about this.
Come on, that's so
All
early 2015.
All right, so what do we see here for Simone? He's got a Fiendish Chain, Mirror Force, Mask Change, a Shadow Mist, and an Upstart Goblin.
Yeah, so I think the best thing that someone is going to be able to have here. Ah, okay. He's
Oh,
going
we're still not done
one
with
further. I think he's going to make King. Okay, it just doesn't. Me and Marcello played a lot when we were testing for YCS Bochum,
Mm-hmm.
and I was trying to convince him for a good month that he should always be playing Cairngorgon in Nekroz. But it doesn't. I can't read the Italian here, so I might not be able to see if the Cairngorgon actually is there. But Cairngorgon would have been nice there because he'd been able to defend his Royal Decree from Mystical Space Typhoon. but yeah, so
Wow.
we'll see.
After this, you can tell him.
I can ask him again to play Cairngorgon.
I'm going to put it on my list.
I'll
of
put it on the
questions.
list. Okay.
Yeah.
Luke says Marcello should be playing Cairngorgon. Yeah.
He's going to like this.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. But he wins events unlike me, so
Yes, although he does have a point.
yeah. I take his advice much more highly than my own. So here we go. We've seen that. So this is the best possible outcome really for this Nekroz player. So he's going to be able to open up with the Clausulus, which is just fantastic. What is that last card? That's a reinforcement to the army.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, still this is not something that is going to affect the situation. A lot of people may be saying, "Oh, well, you can just switch out the Dark Law when you mass change."
Mm-hmm.
When Clausulus effect, you can mass change, but it happens in the damage step, so you can't really do that.
Right, so we got Goblinberg hitting the field, followed by Elemental Hero Shadow Mist.
Yeah, so Shadow Mist is going to go at mass change. Actually, now that I think about it, he is going to be able to get that Clausulus off the field if he wants to. He can mass change into Dark Law. Dark Law attack Clausulus. Clausulus will drop Dark Law's attack to 0, and then he will take 2,300 damage. And then he will mass change that Dark Law into a new one that isn't affected by Clausulus. That is a line of play that he could possibly make.
Doesn't sound like a great line of play, though.
Yeah, if he manages to get rid of that Dark Law. So I think that's going to be glorious.
There
Okay,
is
that feels
the
good.
end phase Royal Decree, and that is a big, big play.
And
Because-
Simone just kind of goes, eh?
Yeah, because suddenly the Mind Crush, the Fiendish Chain, and the Mirror Force, all dead cards. They can't do anything.
Yep.
And only the Mask Change prevails.
Yep.
And immediately getting activated by Simone.
Yep, so that's going to go into a Dark Law. So, but this is strange. I don't know why he didn't make this play, because now it's the ball is in Marcello's court. He can just go to town. He can just he can just make a rank 4 play right now. He just summons the Senju, gets Unicorn, reinforcements in the army, get Clausulus gets Nekroz, Kaleidoscope, summon the Unicorn, and then just that can just start clearing up the board. Or a Bryanak even. Bryanak would be even better, because then Dark Law gets sent away.
Yeah. But, how much of a problem is Dark Law with the effect that banishes one of the cards from the hand?
Yeah, so this is quite important. So right now what's going to happen is I think Marcello's going to play Senju's effect.
Even though it costs him a card in his hand.
Well, this is the key part of this. So he's going to add the card to his hand. Klausulus is then so Dark Law activates. Klausulus is going to try and negate Dark Law, and then Simone is going to swap out the Dark Law for a new one, which will make the first Dark Law's effect resolve. And if Marcello tries to add another card to his hand, the second Dark Law's effect will activate. I think it's once per the Dark Law, not the actual effect, but we'll double check that.
All right, but yeah. So Simone.
Yeah,
Marcello pointing to Klausulus, and then there is the second mask change, just as you pointed out.
Yeah. So as I was saying, that Dark Law that's there is going to be able to take another card out of his hand if he tries to add later on in the turn. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so Marcello is going to lose a card here. There's a 5, and that is...
I think that was a Bryanak.
That was the Bryanak that he just searched for, yes. He's left with Klausulus and reinforcement of the army.
That's rough. Especially considering that this Dark Law is like live. he can take it.
So this play would not have been possible if he went for the double mask change on his turn.
No, that's correct.
So maybe that was his thinking.
Yeah, maybe. That's a very good point. I mean, my idea was just to get rid of that Klausulus really quickly. But if he's able to establish this Dark Law, then that's even better.
Yeah, it appears like he has indicated that, because it does have a big element of surprise. You don't really see that coming.
Yeah,
somebody's gonna. I mean, the first mask change, yes, of course, you can see that coming from a mile away. Second mask change in the same chain, not so much.
Yeah.
All right. So Klausulus is searching, allowing Marcello to search his deck.
Yeah.
And he's still left with a Nekroz of Unicorn and the reinforcement of the army in his hand.
Yeah. So there's
a Kaleidoscope.
So yeah, Dark Law at this point is negated by Klausulus, by the way, for those who are wondering.
Right. Okay, so there's Unicorn hitting play. And now Marcello should be able to find an out, right?
Yeah, he's in business now. He can go into a rank 4 with the... but yeah, he has an out because the Dark Law's on 0 attack points, so yeah, that's an out. But Marcello can just go to town now. He can just do whatever he wants. He can just... He probably, at this point, is just going to attack through and then make an exceed play.
But this might be one of those rare situations. Oh, no, actually it's not. I was about to say that this might be one of those situations where Mirror Force could kick in. However, there's, of course, a Royal Decree face up on the field. Sometimes it's really hard to keep track of the many effects, even though it's kind of obvious that this card is on the field. Yeah,
so reinforcements in the army to get the Shurrit. He's got Nekroz Cycle in hand, so he can go Nekroz Cycle, tribute the Shurrit. Go get a card from his graveyard, which is great. That's great news. He might want to make an overlay play first.
So it looks like Simone is in business if you're just tuning in with those 4 back rows. However, Royal Decree shutting them all down. All of those are face down trap cards.
Yeah, every single one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here's the cycle, tribute the Shurrit. Shurrit gets something.
Is it fair to assume that Marcello's got this game?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Yeah. He's basically just...
Actually, he can just win now, I think. He overlays that, and then he can summon Valkyries as well. Yeah, I don't know what he should be searching for Shurrit right now. Yeah, he definitely should be searching for a Shurrit.
Right, he's just checking his graveyard.
Possibly.
There's the Bryanak.
Oh, so he did search for Shurrit. We just didn't see. Yeah, Marcello keeps taking his deck away from the camera, and then we don't see what he's doing.
Yeah.
So he's added a Decisive Armor. Yeah, so he's going to go for game here by the looks of it.
Yeah,
Let's switch that
everything in attack
over.
mode. And now let's bring those beats.
Yeah, so that's, again, I really don't want to do maths, but
That's a ton of damage.
that's
I'm really good.
tons of damage.
I'm really good at maths.
Yes, that's 32, 56. That's 8,000 exactly on the board right now.
All right. And I'm not 100% sure what the confusion is about. Okay,
That's
this
it.
so much for the confusion. There we go. That was game 2, 1-1 between Marcello, Barberi, and Simone Reale. In case you're wondering, both of these guys sporting a perfect record. So no matter what happens, they're going to make it into day 2.
Yeah.
We thought about trying to show you something about the bring you a bubble match. And that's a little bit harder for us to do because in our pairings documents that we have, we do not have the points of the players, so we can only come up with a wild guess who is on the bubble and who not. And before we present you with a match where both of these guys are already out of competition and they're just playing for the lols, we decided to instead go with one of the high caliber matches, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I stand by that decision.
And heroes as well.
Right.
Heroes are cool.
Heroes are very cool, even though, like we pointed out, we weren't even aware that Marcello's opponent is playing heroes.
No, Ollie, I'm just going to take all credit. We were going for heroes.
Okay.
You're just like, oh, it's okay. It's fine. You're just crazy. It's fine.
It's impossible to argue with this.
It's fine. You're just crazy.
All right, and again, chance to side deck, to swap cards between the main and side deck. Yeah, a very good chance that Simone wasn't telegraphing that Royal Decree coming in, and for that reason he didn't have something against the Royal Decree. That's gonna change in the third game now. So he's definitely gonna bring back, if he sided them out, the Mystical Space Typhoons.
Yep.
And yeah, so what else? Is there anything else? Was there anything else surprising you in the second game?
No, not really. I think
Pretty much what we expected to
it was.
see.
Yeah, I mean, we went through this after the first game. It was, putting in these things like Mirror Force, Mind Crush, Imperial Iron Wall potentially, leaving in the Mystical Space Typhoons to try and deal with the Royal Decrees. Just
It's
I don't know. I hate saying standard stuff, but it's
yeah.
It's what
the things you come to expect.
yeah,
Yeah,
we've seen this even from the European Championships. It's the same kind of tactics.
I'm very pleased by the fact that I'm not the only person who missed the Royal Decree on the field. And a couple of guys are like, "Oh, he's gonna attack into Mirror Force." Well, no, he's not. All right, and that's it. Handshake for the third game. I don't think we have that much time left in the round, to be honest. Actually,
No.
there's a die on the table. Is it indicating that we're only going to play 5 turns? I didn't. Yeah, we actually had to close the door between our room, which is a small hall next to the small hall where the feature match is taking place, because there was a chance that they could hear us.
Yeah, we keep getting too excited.
Yeah, that's a big problem to have when you're doing commentary.
Yeah. Right. So the Plane Man's here. He's going to summon Shadow Mist.
All right, let's a quick look at Marcello's hand. We're going to be right back with that, but first let's take a look at what else Simone has.
Yeah. So Simone is doing this.
Upstart, Solemn Warning, and Mask Change. Second Mask Change, thanks to the Shadow Mist that he just summoned with Goblin Berg.
That's quite interesting. Marcello has Kaleidoscope, which is very useful. Only if he can draw the likes of Trishul or Valkyris to be able to use those with his extra deck monsters. He's got Star Eater and 12 as well.
Right. I gotta say, if this is already extra time, I'm surprised that Simone didn't side out of Solemn Warning.
Yeah, we're not in extra time yet.
So
There's 6 minutes remaining.
I think they did have a chance to side deck, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or was it already in time, so they were not
No,
allowed to side deck?
No, we're not in time yet.
Okay.
There's still 6 minutes remaining.
Oh, right. Oh, and Well, difficult decision. Would you have started out of Solemn Warning with 6 minutes on the clock?
To be honest, like looking at it from a third party perspective, I definitely think that I'd have probably sided out of things like Solemn Warning.
Yeah, but it's very hard when
But
you're
yeah, it's
sitting
hard.
at that table. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you want to keep Solemn Warning in because in a perfect world, you will stop all of your opponent's plays in the entire world
Right.
by negating a single summon, which is like a Manju or a Senju or something, and then you're just going to win by just attacking them because they have nothing. That's like the ideal world, and it's lucky because I drew a Solemn Warning. Oh, I'll just play Solemn Warning because that's going to win me the game. Like it's the risk reward factor. Solemn Warning's a very strong card. That's the reason for such a cost.
Right. But that's a good thing if good cards come with high costs.
Yeah.
And here we see the Manju as the opening play of Marcello. Also, speaking of this whole topic, it is a lot harder to play in the feature match area. We said that some players didn't want to play in the feature match area today for the sole reason that they got crushed by a Mecha Fandom Beast deck the last time they were playing in the feature match.
Yes.
Which is kind of understandable, I gotta say, because that's really unique.
Yeah, but it's a real shame. We missed out on a really
That would have been an amazing match.
really amazing match because somebody decided to decline the feature match.
But I have made a couple of calls when he returns to his town. There's going to be a guy walking in front of him for the whole day, and he's going to ring the shame bell.
Is he going to do that?
Yeah, he's going to do that. So
That's good.
It's going to be like shame, and because you're not playing in the feature match.
Yeah.
Okay, it seems like we're having some
audio problems.
Technical difficulties. But here we go. So I hope you can hear us again. And let's bring you back to Marcello's hand.
Okay, so yes. So I think
Wow.
sorry for the audio difficulties there. So let's take a look at Marcello's hand here.
Nekroz cycle just got hit
Yeah,
by the Dark Law.
that's perfect. What did he add? So he added Bryanak. So I think there's a line of play here that I would probably make, but it's kind of risky. What he could do is discard Bryanak to get Trishula, and then play... he could play Nekroz Kaleidoscope, and then summon both Trishula and the Klausulus.
How good is that? Like
That's an amazing play because he gets the Klausulus out and he gets Trishula out as well.
And what can Simone do to stop it? He does have the Solemn Warning.
Yeah, he does have Solemn Warning, so he can choose to negate the Kaleidoscope, but...
All right, there is the Kaleidoscope.
Yeah. So it's risky here, because, yeah, we're about to go into time, so... big.
There is the Solemn Warning, yeah. Go big or go home.
Yes, yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
2,000 life points after an upstart Goblin, so 3,000 life points a difference between Marcello Barberi and Simone Reale, and that is a pretty big deal to overcome.
Yes, definitely.
On the other hand, I mean, the hero deck is able to dish out a lot of damage in one battle phase, really.
Yeah. If he has control of the game, then doing damage is not a big deal.
Yeah, thanks to those mask changes that allow you to attack with one Dark Law and then bring in the next, tag in the next one, and then attack with that as well.
Yeah.
So there are some opportunities for Simone to deal with that.
So let's take a look at Marcel's hand here. So he's got Nekroz Mirror, Decisive Armor, and a Valkyris. So maybe you can protect the Manju for one turn and hope for a rank 4 play next turn, or maybe he's going to try and just use it for some other reason.
Right. There is the second mask change. this is like the 10th time, this is what it feels like, that we've seen this double mask change.
Yeah.
This is one of those cards that you really don't mind drawing into twice.
Yeah, I think someone has been getting really, really lucky here. So yeah, I don't even know. I don't know what Kaleidoscope could bring here. There's nothing he could summon with Kaleidoscope.
That's
Decisive Armor.
decisive armor, yeah.
There's nothing he can summon with Kaleidoscope. Yep, so we've just been informed that's time on the round.
All right. So Simone is left with just 2 cards, Reinforcement of the Army and a Masked Hero Dark Law. It's his turn now, whereas Marcello has 3 cards, but he's got a Valkyrus that's going to buy him some time, and he's still 3,000 life points ahead. Doesn't sound horrible. Doesn't sound great either, to be honest.
No, but that's time on the round just now.
Yep. Let's see if he can make those 3 more extra turns of his opponent. There's a Vanity's Emptiness in Simone's hand. So
That's not going to help.
yeah, but if he's going to be the first to assemble a strong field, he's going to be able to stop Marcello from doing the same.
Yes.
So, and with a Dark Law on the field, it's not that bad.
Yep.
All right. So Simone playing Infernity suddenly with no cards in hand. And passing play to Marcello, who's got a Nekroz Mirror, Nekroz of Valkyrus, and a Nekroz Kaleidoscope.
Yep.
And one more card that he just drew into. Manju of Defend.
Okay.
Yeah, his deck is like, yeah, you should be searching, man. And
I think it's probably tempting here to just summon. So he's ahead on life points. We've got 2 turns each left, so someone has 2 attacking turns. I think it's a great risk to be able to. Oh, hold on. Okay, I'm going down a whole story here when that's not even going to work. I was thinking of him summoning Senju and then getting a hold of another Valkyrus and trying to hold out with the Valkyruses, but there's no cards in his graveyard.
yeah.
He's had Dark Law since turn 1. I mean, someone has got quite lucky here, having 2 mass changes.
Well, lucky is when preparation meets opportunity. And this was exactly what happened here.
Yeah.
He prepared his deck in this way that he can always go for Dark Law early on.
Yep,
And the
exactly.
opportunity arose in the 3rd game, in the 7th round of YCS Rimini, and he was able to play 2 Dark Laws. This is how the history books will tell this story. Just so you know. No, but yes, you are of course correct. You need to draw into those cards as well at the start of the game. And let's see what he hits this time. There's a Kaleidoscope. Oof. So there's a Mirror, Valkyrus, and Bryanek remaining.
Okay, he can summon. He can summon Valkyrus here. He can pitch Bryanek,
Yep.
pitch Shurit, play Nekroz Mirror, pitch Shurit for Valkyrus.
And then there's a Vanity's Emptiness.
Yeah.
Let's not forget about that card.
Yeah.
So the so-called floodgate is stopping. It's going to stop this flood. I'm going to predict it here. I'm taking all the bets on this one. I think it's a very, very fair assumption. There we go.
Handshake.
Yeah.
Incoming 3, 2. Oh no.
No,
I was counting
first there's a
down.
shuffle. It's handshake goes on the chain, so you have to shuffle first before you can handshake.
That makes sense. I should know that with being
Yeah.
a judge.
Yeah.
I really should.
No, Marcello is
He's
thinking there might be another turn for me. Maybe I can do something in this turn, but it's really looking horrible. It's not just looking not good, it is indeed looking horrible for him.
Regeki would be nice. And that's it. He draws a clown monster.
Yeah, Simone has a hero lives. He doesn't even set it because you don't want to have it fall victim to a MST or something, so he would lose his Vanity's Emptiness, even though MST could also destroy Vanity's Emptiness, of course.
Galaxy Cyclone.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's what he must have been thinking right here.
Yeah.
So, wow, Simone Reale winning the first game with heroes. Not a chance in the second game, so to speak.
Yeah.
1-1, and in the 3rd game, going to time.
Wow.
But he is staying ahead thanks to his heroes, thanks to multiple activations of mask change. This was very hard to keep track of. There were so many mask changes in this game.
Yeah, that was really like just Dark Law after Dark Law after Dark Law.
Yeah.
Really was.
And this card was so strong. We've seen it a couple of times that Simone was behind on cards, and he only had a Dark Law. That
Yeah.
was like his only real advantage. But it was picking one after the next card from Marcello's hand. So in the end, he was not being able to unleash all the combos
Yeah.
off the Nekroz deck, and that's what made all the difference here.
Yeah, I can only quote Matthew Bell when he says, "You just can't play Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yes, yes.
Dark Law just stops you playing Yu-Gi-Oh!"
You're right. And yeah, it's a lot harder at least to if you're going, okay, I'm going to search for this one card that's going to help me. Just randomly hit that one card that you just went searching for.
Yep.
That's, yeah, thank you very much for that.
Yeah,
It's
and
not-
especially when it's over and over again,
Yeah.
multiple times a turn.
Yeah, when you're like, okay, he hit me once, but now I'm going to get another search. This
Yeah.
time I'm going to get it right. And then he just hits the second mask change, and you're like back to square one.
Yeah.
And yeah, so the hero deck still undefeated, 7-0 Simone Reale.
Yeah.
And what do you think about the build? Is it the correct way to tackle this archetype?
It looks very similar to, I completely forget his name now, but we also had a hero player in the European Championships that ran a build very, very similar to this one. I can't remember his name for the life of me.
I'm not sure
But
right now.
I think he was from the UK. He was doing exactly the same, and it looks very, very similar. The
Alright.
only like strange things are the side deck's a bit changed, so the Royal Command's now a card.
What do you think about the Goblinberg? Because I've seen this deck both with and without Goblinberg.
Yeah, I think Goblinberg's a really good card. It just enables you to get that Shadow Mist play off or make a rank 4 play when necessary.
Right.
It's really universally good, I think.
Okay, so there's no reason to not play it.
No.
All right. Anything else what about the Forbidden Lands?
No, again, so things like Forbidden Land, so a lot of people play Regeki or Dark Hole or something. So, you know, it's a great out to that, really.
Right.
So when you've got Dark Law there and you're stopping your opponent from playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And you just, you know, they're like, oh, finally, I got a Dark Hole.
Finally, yeah.
I got a Dark Hole, I've got a Regeki, I've got something. And then you play it and they Forbidden Lance, and then you get really sad.
Yeah. This was the first time this weekend that we've had Nekroz on the stream, and it lost, but that's not like...
We had Federico playing Nekroz.
All right, yeah, that's true. That was also a long, very long match. I think I moved it in the back of my head. I was like, it was hard to keep track of.
Yeah.
But yes, that's true. But Federico also lost.
Yeah, with the same build as
Yeah.
well.
So far, Nekroz is not doing well, at least on our stream. I think it's a different story in the other side of the venue, where at the top tables, I think we've seen a little bit of Nekroz. Other decks that we have seen this weekend at the top, for example, an Ignite deck.
Yeah, we want to try and get a hold of him to get him on stream at some
Right.
point.
The problem was that when we wanted to feature him, his opponent didn't want to get featured. However, the interesting story about the Ignite deck is there are also different versions of it, and one version also says my opponent is not going to play Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yes, the Tyrant Throws version.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But he didn't play that version.
Yeah, no, he was playing the Tyrant Throws version, but there's a variant where it is just all your eggs in one basket to play the similar to the Chicken Race deck we had earlier with
in round 2 with Paul Cooper.
Yeah, Magical Explosion.
Yep.
That kind of all your eggs in one basket deal. And it's not too fun to watch.
Not too fun, yeah. And also our judge said, if you invite this deck over to the feature match area, I quit.
Yeah, he was
And-
going to quit.
And we couldn't do that because we love Kiwi and we want to have him in the feature match area.
Yeah.
Okay. What is your expectation for the last round?
So it's a really important round. We'll see what match we manage to get here, but this is where at the top of the competition you see people fighting for that guaranteed place
Spot, yeah, absolutely.
so that they can kind of just rock up tomorrow, win a
Keep
couple of games.
Living the dream.
Yeah.
And we've
you
had
know,
that a
just-
couple of
yeah.
times that somebody starts with like a 2-2 and then he just goes on winning all the other matches, goes
Yeah.
all the way to the finals, sometimes winning even. So it is a very important match.
Yeah.
Even when you're like, but they are 5-2, can they still win this? Yes,
Yeah, you
they can.
Yeah, you just win the rest of your matches.
Right.
Easy.
Exactly,
Easy.
yeah. Super easy game plan.
Yeah.
All right. We're not gonna have an interview in this round because time is a little bit short for one reason, and the other reason is we cannot have a translator because we only have 2 microphones. So with that, we're gonna take a break, check with the scorekeeper, try to find the most interesting match for the last round of Swiss today. And with that, we're signing off for round 7 of YCS Rimini.